Chipotle Burrito Bowl is just a burrito without the tortilla, but we can make it a whole lot more.
Hold on, wait, very important announcement. We're launching a new series, test running it, something you've asked for a while, this Wednesday in 3 days.
So today we're making the burrito bowl from Chipotle. Wow, back to Chipotle, one of the few places that I'll go and eat and not actually hate it. I know, some people find this surprising, which I don't understand why. But there are some inconsistencies that are pretty frequent. I feel like I'm gonna be nice to them this time. But after we make this burrito bowl, you might feel otherwise. So with that being said, let's make this, shall we?
Oh my God! Chipotle. Let's go and get it. So it's Chipotle. Appearance, honestly, 8 out of 10. I know that they have to keep them cheap and they look honestly quite nice. Menu, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. 0.326, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. You have 2 options, burrito or burrito bowl. What else is there? That's it. Service was great. They did what they were supposed to do. Give it a 3. Just a 3. No, not out of 10. 3. The bag. We've all seen one of these before. Chipotle is one of my most favorite fast food places ever, period. And I mean that, honestly. Why couldn't they have represented themselves better? I can't keep protecting you. I can't. Not like this. Now I have to eat it. Because there's multiple layers, I'm gonna break this down by element. First, barbacoa. 1, doesn't taste bad, tastes good. 2, dry. 3, that is not barbacoa. That thing should be juicing all up in your mouth. Rice. It's rice. Beans. I think they gave me old beans. These taste like bad. Is it just me or are these beans straight up off?
They taste weird.
Why is it sour? Long story short, we did the burrito, and so now we do their second best and really their only other option, which is a proper burrito bowl.
As I've stated, this is simply not a burrito, it's a bowl. So let's look at our elements. We have our rice, of course. Our protein, which will be the juiciest, most luxurious beef barbacoa. Beautiful pinto beans, not from a can. A vibrant salsa verde, and various accoutrements. Yeah, you like that little Frenchy boy stuff? Let's begin with our beef. You'll need 2 pounds or 900 grams of fatty brisket. This is Australian Wagyu brisket, and 2 pounds or 900 grams of beef cheeks. Not the same as my cheeks. In a large brazier or pot, heat up enough vegetable oil to coat the bottom of the pan. Once hotter than the inside of a tent in the Mojave Desert, sear your beef on all sides, about 3 minutes per side, till beautifully brown, removing your beef as you sear to avoid overcrowding. Then once all that's seared, place all your beef back. Yes, now you can overcrowd. Add in 8 cloves of peeled garlic, 3 bay leaves, 1 cinnamon stick, 4 guajillo chilies, whole, 2 teaspoons or 4 grams of ground cumin, and last but not least, 2 cups or 475 milliliters of beef stock and the juice of 2 limes. Feel free to add the lime bodies to the braise as well. Lime bodied. Bring that up to a light simmer, cover with the right fitting lid, and place in an oven set to 350 Fahrenheit for 3 hours. Traditionally, this would be like a whole goat that you wrap in agave leaves and bury underground with burning embers, but you know, beef cheek braise works similarly. Check it occasionally, adding broth if it begins to evaporate too much, then remove your now delicately tender beef and shred it by hand. You can use forks to do so, but you don't really even need them because it melts in your mouth and your hand. Now, once your beef is shredded nicely, and I cannot stress this enough, with its own fat, okay? Don't toss the fat. I want it
Juicy.
season it to taste with salt, and that is your beef. Of course, while the barbacoa is going, you should start your beans since we're not using it from the can today. Say it twice because it's nice. I've taste tested both canned pinto and fresh cooked, and the difference is a textural wonderland that you can control. Start with 1 pound or 450 grams of uncooked pinto beans. Cover those with at least 4 cups or 1 liter of water. Bring to a boil, adding water as it evaporates out, and boil for at least 1 hour, or just until the beans are tender. Optionally, you can drain and rinse them as well. Now we'll make essentially a charro bean, or well, beans. Not like we're using one single bean here. To a medium sauce pot, add 6 ounces or 170 grams of bacon cut into thick pieces. I actually sliced my own bacon so I could get big 1-inch cubes, but do what you can here. Now cook that over medium heat, stirring often until you get beautifully crisp and browned, about 3 to 5 minutes. Then add in, sorry, I'm getting kind of distracted. Lord have mercy. Half a pound or 227 grams of chorizo. Continue to cook until the sausage is fully cooked, stirring occasionally for about 2 minutes, then crank the heat to medium-high. Add in 1 cup or 137 grams of cherry tomatoes. Season to taste with salt, stir those in and let those sear for 1 to 2 minutes until they pop and start to juice. Follow that with 1 yellow onion, finely diced, 2 serrano chilies, thinly sliced, with their seeds and everything. 4 cloves of thinly sliced garlic, season again with salt to draw some of that water out, stir together and sweat for 3 minutes. Not you sweating, but the onion. Once the vegetables are softened, add in 2 teaspoons or 6 grams of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon or 1 gram of dried Mexican oregano, a quarter teaspoon or half a gram of ground cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of chipotle powder.
Don't you worry, Papa seasons his food.
Stir together and cook for 1 minute to lightly toast the spice. Finally add in 2 cups or 475 milliliters of chicken stock, stir together, then add all of your cooked beans along with a couple tablespoons of its cooking water. Season that bad boy generously with salt, and those are some real beans that'll call the cowboys home slapping their knees like I'll get out. For the rice, I mean, come on, you wash your rice, please. Don't make me explain it. I've said it too many times, all right? This is 2 cups or 380 grams of medium grain rice. Once your rice is washed, add it to the lord of rice cookers, zojirushi, if you have one, along with equal parts of water, which is 2 cups or 470 milliliters in this case. This ratio will not work for any other cooking method outside of a rice cooker, so press the magic button and enjoy an absolute tune. Now, once it's cooked, bust it open, plop all of your hot, fresh, glistening rice into a large bowl and add the zest of 1 lime, toss lightly together, then add a 1/3 cup or 75 grams of unsalted butter. Gently stir that together, avoiding breaking up the rice grains, till everything is coated evenly with butter. Finally, season to taste with salt, pop in a 1/2 cup or 5 grams of finely chopped cilantro, and the juice of 1 to 2 limes, depending on their size, then gently stir together till evenly incorporated, and that is a proper cilantro lime rice. Buttery, rich, and yet balanced in all of its glory. Adjust salt levels as necessary. Salsa time, yeah, let's go, yeah! Right. You'll need to char the following items over a stovetop. 1 pound or 450 grams of tomatillos, husked, 1 sweet onion, sliced in half and peeled, and 2 jalapenos. So place those guys over a wire rack set directly on top of a stovetop flame on high heat and just let her rip. Now make sure those tomatillos are nicely charred in some spots, but try to avoid making pure carbon. That's charred tomatillos, not moon rocks. Now for the jalapenos, you want those fully blackened on every square inch. Then lightly char your sweet onion, place those all into a bowl, cover with plastic wrap, and allow to steam for 5 minutes. Then to a blender, add half a bunch of fresh cilantro with the stems, and please wash your cilantro, by the way, they can be some real dirty boys. A 1/3 cup or 80 milliliters of lime juice, 7 cloves of garlic, then using a paper towel, wipe off all of the char on your jalapenos, cut off their stems, and pop them into your blender, seeds and all, if you're not a little baby, which, by the way, totally okay to be a little baby. Papa still loves you. Your sweet onion, and finally, your roasty tomatillos, with their charred skins and everything. This is why I said don't overchar them. Season those brothers to taste with salt, give it a good old-fashioned blend until smooth, and that is your salsa verde. All those little charred bits left in there that have been eviscerated will leave you with a lightly smoky and very deep flavor that interacts beautifully with the fresh green flavors in this salsa. Baka bing, baka boom, and baka mami. So we have all of our major elements. Let's talk accoutrement. You'll need 2 avocados, seeded, quartered, peeled, and sliced thick or as thinly as you desire. A 50-50 mix of grated Monterey Jack and low moisture mozzarella, 1 cup or 113 grams of each, tossed together. Lastly, just some plain sour cream. Sure, you can flavor your sour cream, but we have plenty of flavor here, so let's keep this simple. Now, to plate this up, first thing down, of course, is your rice. Then add your beans, using a slotted spoon, a generous handful of your grated cheese, your first sliced avocado, which has gotten some flaky salt placed atop, your juicy, loosey-goosey barbacoa beef, a fat dollop of your sour cream, which if you want to get a little fancy, you can use the back of your spoon to make a nice gentle indentation on the top of that, and add a few glugs of hot sauce in said indentation, sort of like its own little bowl. See, it looks nice. A couple generous spoonfuls of your salsa verde, then just finish it off with a few pieces of cilantro to make a nice little green garden bushel in your bowl. It almost looks like some sort of Chipotle version of a bibimbap bowl, which I'm not mad about. So let's put these things side by side, and oh god, wow, yeah, that's a bummer. And yes, there isn't guac on the other bowl because they forgot to add it. Not my problem. Nonetheless, let us taste test and decide our winner today.
This is very important. But that's a lighter flame than I had anticipated. I was gonna light it on fire for metaphorical reasons. If you got a book, please leave a review on Amazon or wherever you got it. It very much helps the book. A massive thank you for the support. This book has become the #1 most pre-ordered book in the history of my publisher's company because of you. Unprecedented. We're breaking records with this. Cookbooks don't usually sell like that, all because of everybody's support, so thank you so much. Please don't forget to leave a review. I love you all. I wanted to be silly about this. Unfortunately, it was just kind of weird, but wow, this is hard for me. I eat Chipotle more than I would like to admit. I don't want to do this to them. I just have to. I also ordered this with guac and they did not put guac on it.
Oh yeah.
The rice alone wins this as a whole. Now,
My meat.
and theirs, where is the meat? This is hard for me to vote on because I still like theirs. But you can tell the difference between something that is quality, had time spent on it, had the hours cooked into it, the cuisine. And then the other one's just kind of like, yeah, I'll eat this, it's lunchtime. That's the comparison. Now the beans. The beans, there's no competition. You can taste each and every little thing. The garlic, the onion, the chorizo, the bacon, it all comes through. And the funny thing is, they're putting those ingredients in their beans and yet somehow they taste like absolutely nothing but white distilled vinegar. All right, Kendwick, come on in, buddy. What's your opinion on Chipotle?
I do not really eat at Chipotle.
That was a terrible person to choose to come up here. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down into elements. I'm gonna give you each element. I want you to taste test them. I'll give you 1 and 2, then you're gonna kind of vote on each element. Number 1, that's rice.
Okay.
Now masticate number 2. Back to number 1. Number 1, and then we're going back to number 2. Last but certainly not least, do you like beans? What is your opinion on beans?
I like beans.
So that's number 1.
Okay. Pungent.
Number 2.
Number 2 is the winner across the board.
Damn, those Chipotle. No, I'm just joking.
There's no way you made those beans. Jesus Christ.
Just to clarify, we are the winner.
Their beans, bad. Like what you said, it was just straight vinegar. Yep. The rice was actually kind of close. The texture of yours was way better, but the flavor was kind of similar. The beef, yours was definitely juicier, but like flavor-wise was kind of similar.
So the number 1 lesson here is, am I gonna stop ordering Chipotle? Actually, no. This is a first for Bud Better. But if I actually want to sit down and have an enjoyable meal that is actually what it should have been in the first place, then you're looking at what I would do.
You want to know what else has big piles of Papa's meat resting atop your bowl? B-roll. All right, guys, and that is it. So we made our burrito bowl. Wow. Gotta change it to a different name, maybe just bowl. It's just not a burrito at all. Why is that even in the title? That aside, we absolutely knocked this out of the park. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go, right? Because it's like, oh, it's rice, meat, beans, and it's gonna taste the same. Not true. With the effort and the love from your own heart, taking the time to use the proper ingredients and season it the way you like it, you're gonna have a better bowl if you make it yourself. That's what we should learn today. And this is one of the few But Betters that you can actually execute at home that doesn't require loads of time and prep, etc. Enough of the excuses. So that being said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Make the goddamn bowl.